Chapter 20, Mishnah 5. Having mentioned a case where a kli can become tame even if it is attached to the ground, the Mishnah discusses more such cases. This is the law for a block of wood that was carved into a seat, which someone fixed on top of a row of bricks in a wall. If he attached the block to the wall in a permanent manner but did not build on top of it, and thus the block is exposed and a person can sit on it, or he built more bricks on top of the block so that it cannot be used as a seat, but he did not attach it to the wall in a permanent manner. In either of these cases, the block can become tame. Although it is attached to a wall, which cannot become tame, the block keeps its identity as a kli of its own. In the first case, since it can still be used as a seat, and in the second case, since it was attached to the wall only in a temporary fashion. Since the block is still considered a kli that is a seat, it can become tame through contact and through midras. In the next case, a block attached to a wall cannot become tame. If someone attached a block to a wall in a permanent manner and built on top of it, it is tahor. In this case, the block is considered part of the wall and is no longer considered a kli of its own. Just as the wall cannot become tame since it is attached to the ground, the block cannot become tame. The Mishnah discusses a similar case. A mat of reeds, which was designated to sleep on, and is thus subject to midras, that was attached to a structure. This is the law for a mat that someone placed over the ceiling beams of a house. If he attached the mat to the beams with nails but did not place a layer of plaster over it, or he placed a layer of plaster over the mat but did not attach it to the beams with nails, the mat can become tame through midras. In both of these cases, the mat can be easily removed from the roof. Therefore, it is not considered part of the roof. It keeps its identity as a kli that is used to lie on and thus remains subject to midras. But if he attached the mat to the beams with nails and placed plaster over it, the mat is tahor. In this case, it is difficult to remove the mat from the ceiling beams, and it is therefore considered part of the roof. Just as the roof cannot become tame, the mat cannot become tame. Another case where a kli is attached to something that cannot become tame. This is the law for a plate that someone attached to a bin, chest, or cabinet. In a case where the bin, chest, or cabinet is so large that it cannot become tame, if the plate was attached in the way that it is used, i.e. it was attached right side up, the plate can become tame. Since it can still function as a plate, it is considered a kli of its own. It is not considered part of the bin, chest, or cabinet. Thus, it can become tame. However, if it was not attached in the way that it is used but was attached upside down, it is tahor. Since it cannot function as a plate, it is not considered a kli of its own. It is simply part of the bin, chest, or cabinet. Just as they cannot become tame, the plate cannot become tame.